last week you hadn't played Maple Hill without the fog. So you were talking about how great it was, but you were like, it was kind of frustrating because I couldn't see it. So now you've had chances to play Maple Hill in some pretty bad weather, looked like some pretty good weather, and obviously with no fog. So what's your like now assessment post-tournament of the course?
I mean, yeah, I think I said how, there was a lot of, it's similar to GMC of where there is a lot of hype. And
yeah,
I think I said this in a Twitter video of where that's just a common thing with golf, whether it's disc golf or ball golf, if you will. There, I said it, of where people just hype up their courses. Like the local people hype up their courses and, always try to get you to come out and play, and always talk about like, the word hidden gem gets thrown around a lot in golf of where, oh, you got to check this out. No one's ever talks about it's a hidden gem. And I've, some of them pan out and you're like, wow, this is a really good golf course. And then some are just like, this was kind of overhyped. That happens as well in disc golf, where you hear people talk all about this course. You got to come out. You got to come out. And then you get there and you're like, yeah, it wasn't really that great. GMC and Maple Hill are probably the two courses that have been hyped as much as any other courses, and they live up to it. I think Maple Hill especially is a course that, with how many different tee pads they have, with how many different pins, basket locations they have, you could spend all day out there and not get tired of playing it. You can play all different types of layouts and practice all different types of shots. And that's the one, that's where I was like, man, like this would be like the ideal course for Worlds, in my opinion. Now they can't host, I don't think they can host Worlds because of parking and all this other stuff they were talking about. There were a lot of people out there, but the course itself has the only thing it might be missing is some forehand holes. There's only a handful of maybe one or two holes that like a forehand is like the intended shot, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, it has a good mixture of open holes where I'm throwing nukes off the tee. It has a mixture of good holes where you're throwing putters or mids off the tee. It has some par fours that are like very placement off the drive. Other par fours where you're just trying to get it out there as far as possible, but staying in bounds. A great finishing group. Hole 17 is a pretty soft par four. I wonder if they will end up doing something differently there. But hole 16 is a great par three. And then obviously hole 18 is a great finishing hole where you have to make that decision coming in at the end. And we saw how that worked out for FPO and MPO. Both of them kind of came down to that final hole. So, yeah, I think overall it's an awesome course. Definitely looking forward. Like that's a tournament that, I definitely want to get into again next year, with it probably being in the playoffs.